Hey everyone, welcome here and glad to have you along. Did you know that I am now on Locals? Locals is an app where you can build community. Think of it like a modern day Facebook group. There you can get free content. I host morning coffees, some afternoon happy hours. You get tons of bonus content, discounts to programs and functions, and it's the best place to connect with me and the subscription box community as we continue to grow. All the videos are free to watch, and all you have to do is sign up on Locals. And the best place to do that is to download the Locals app and search for the Subscription Box Show or Eric Music, or you can go to the actual website, thesubscriptionboxshow.locals.com, and there you'll be able to sign up for free. Hope to see you there, and remember to check out our new YouTube channel, The Subscription Box Show. Cheers, and enjoy the show. All right, we've figured out the technical stuff, and we are now recording. Look at that.
Yes.
And I don't know if you're a soccer fan. I know you're a Ukraine guy.
Yes, very much.
It was a tough loss. I think they lost against Wales, like a tough one, or was it Scotland, or one of those two? And it was like,
some people on the island over there. I can't remember. I didn't actually watch that qualifier. It was bittersweet. I think it was Wales. Yeah. Also, good team to lose to.
Yeah, it's a good team. Like they're a small country, and they always pump out some pretty good good teams.
Oh yeah, what's the
that number 11 guy?
Bailiff.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
Yes.
He's good. Well, that's why I got my France shirt on. So I'm French Canadian. So obviously I'm going to be going for Team Canada. So take it easy, Canadians. Canada made the World Cup, by the way. USA. Yeah, all our American friends. So we finished first in CONCACAF and qualified for first World Cup in my lifetime. And then but France has always been my team because I'm French Canadian. So I mean, they're playing right now. They're up 2-1 against Australia. So it's a good game. It was in the background there. So my boys will be yelling if they score. That's their kind of favorite team too. They kind of like follow what Dad likes, and they're also. But we also have some Ukrainians. So it's like Canada, France, Ukraine is our teams because that's what we are. So that's what I love about the World Cup. Everyone kind of.
Oh, it's an awesome event. Even all the politics stuff aside, it's just beautiful sportsmanship. It's the biggest event of the whole planet. Essentially, like it's bigger than I can't think of anything actually bigger event. Like this is the big event. Is everybody comes together for this one sport, and it's at the end of the day, it's just people kicking a ball around, and they're really, really good at it. It's fascinating how much blood, sweat, and tears goes into that. And
I know.
You
could say the Olympics, but the Olympics kind of like splits off a little bit too, right? Because you have like some southern, like especially if you're talking about Winter Olympics, half the world doesn't even come to the Winter Olympics, right?
Yeah.
So, it's a ton of fun. All that to say, I've had this one. I need an upgrade because I saw their jerseys today. I was like, oh, they're really nice. And this is an old 2010 version. But then again, I probably have to go to Canada jersey. Alphonso Davies all the way.
No, I have to. I'll definitely be watching some of the Canadian games. But it's exciting. It's exciting.
But that's not why we're here. We're not here. This is not a sports show, is it?
No, I would be very quickly disqualified out of that.
But. So for those who don't know you were on the show a few months ago. Maybe you recap your journey since then, and why do you want to kind of like talk shop today? Hey everyone, wanted to do an ad read for you guys here before the show starts. So just give me a few seconds here. This episode is sponsored by SubSummit. If you're still early in the subscription journey, even if all you have is a great idea, SubSummit is where you need to go. It's the world's largest conference for entrepreneurs like you. They're currently accepting applications for a startup scholarship program, and winners will receive a free ticket to the conference next year, hotel accommodations, and up to $500 USD in travel reimbursement. We're talking about a price package here valued at almost $4,000. And all you have to do is apply for free at subsummit.com/scholarship. You don't need to send boxes. You don't need to do anything else. All you have to do is just go to subsummit.com/scholarship and apply for free today. It's open until December 13th, guys. So hurry up, get that in there. And if you're too late already, make sure to check back in with us and we'll make sure to see what we can do for you.
Yeah. Last time we connected, I remember it was actually last November. It's been that
It's been a year.
It's been a year since episode, I think it was episode 2 of 3 when I was last time on the show.
I would have never guessed it. ever
Yeah,
that long.
yeah, no, exactly. It's been a wild year.
Crazy.
Same thing for us. And yeah, we're basically recording this on the pretty much on the eve of Black Friday, Cyber Monday of 2022. And
Mhm.
but I think all of the stuff we'll touch on is going to be quite evergreen. But yeah, since last year, well, the agency we've just been growing. We're just hiring people, and just more clients, newer projects, cooler things we're doing and building. But fundamentally, what we're the number one subscription agency for Shopify brands. And I'm very confident saying that because every time I get on the call, even with partners, even people who should know this field really, really well, they're like, oh, I didn't know there was an agency type that's specific for subscription businesses. And I was like, well, we were the first ones. And from what I can tell, we're the only one to pioneer this field. And what sets us apart is that we exclusively work with subscription brands, and we're another agency, even big agencies, but generally vanilla Shopify agencies, they'll work on 3-4 subscription launches or projects in a course of a year. And we do that many in a month. So we know kind of what works, what doesn't, anything from, the purchasing flows and making sure that you're opting people into subscriptions rather than one-time purchase. And then maybe do you want to upgrade to subscribe and save, even though everybody knows it's the better way to do it. There's zero risk to do it. So we do website design. We do everything except for ads. Website design, website development, and Shopify development, email marketing on top of that too. So it's tricky to. Sometimes people ask like, well, can you briefly summarize what you do? I think generally we help subscription businesses on Shopify grow recurring revenue and retain recurring revenue. No.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's also been a name change, has there not?
Did we? Oh, yes, we told. Okay, yes, we've rebranded to the Good Subscription Agency.
Yeah.
Yes, and come to think of it now, yeah, because that all rolled out, and we also completely swapped our business model too. So now we're flat fee, no billable hours, and cancel anytime subscriptions. So basically, agency as a service. Yes, and we're all done through. Obviously, we're Shopify. We do all of our billing through Shopify Store, so it's kind of very much walk the walk.
Yeah, it's interesting because last time Aerialis, you guys, like, I remember we kind of looked at stuff. We were looking for grants. So why did you change in that direction? And let's just kind of maybe clarify for those, because I know a lot of people like, hold on here, this is going to be a sales pitch, and these things are crazy expensive. I don't want to get trapped into like a 6-month plan with someone that I'm not sure it's going to work out.
No, totally makes sense.
Yeah.
So we started out. Because when I decided I'll just take like, hey, because we were doing some design and development stuff before, specifically for Shopify. We said, hey, we love Shopify. Shopify is a great platform. Very easy to get started on Shopify. Merchants are generally focusing on growing their business rather than trying to figure out how this tech works, like with many other platforms. So, but after a while, we were trying to figure out, okay, well, is this our most successful clients that we were working with were subscription businesses, and we were trying to figure out, okay, well, was that
by fluke by chance? Was that, or just like a haphazard? Like, it was just kind of.
I think I don't. That's what I'm trying to figure out too. And in my head, I think fundamental. Now coming back to reflect on it, I think it's fundamentally because the customer lifetime value is so much longer for subscription brands versus one-time purchase brands that you actually can have the luxury to have bigger profit margins. You can grow faster organically. And especially this is very important now with customer acquisition costs just going, 2-3 times higher than what they were a year ago even. So, when people look at the health of a subscription business, you're comparing customer acquisition cost to your customer lifetime value, and you go, well, customer acquisition cost just keeps going up and up and up. How do we keep building onto that customer lifetime value just so customers, they stay in for 5, 6, 10, 20 orders? And I think it was that primarily. And once I started looking into more of the literature, it's like, okay, a subscription is just a fad. Is this going to be something that comes and goes? Is this a thing of 2020? And then thankfully, like, there's plenty of pioneers that were doing this before, and it's very fresh to the direct-to-consumer space. It's quite fresh in the e-commerce space, but the business model itself, it just makes sense for a lot of brands that it's just a more natural way to do business. Period.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, if I'm buying consumable commodity products, for example, let's call it that, I would much rather buy it from a brand that actually resonates with me, that I understand who the owners are, I understand what they're trying to do with this mission that they're on with this company that they've built. And I would much rather do that than buy toothpaste or buy contact lenses or buy toys for my kids, right? Then just go to the store and buy and try to pick between 10 different identical products, and they all come from nameless brands that I've never heard of.
Coffee.
Yes. Oh, coffee. Coffee's a massive one, and that's a really big, obviously, segment. Seafood is a big one, or just talking about meal and food and beverage is seafood just comes to mind because it was one of our big projects this year. But and it just seems like subscriptions is just a better way to do business, period. Yeah.
I think it's more normal too now. It's just everyone thinks subscription. Well, Netflix, they think like, they've always done it, whether it was with their phone company or their newspaper company that they used to get, but they've always done it anyways. It's just like, it's in everything now. I think like, you leased a car, you rent, you had a loan at a bank. I think to me, it's all the same. Like you're paying a monthly fee, a mortgage. Technically, you're with that bank that, they're hoping their lifetime value with you is a long time, And when you lock in for those 5 years or whatever, right? Those are kind of, but we've always done it. I think it's just now it's everywhere. Like it's literally everywhere. Like everyone's trying to do it, whether it's like, I heard car batteries, there's like, is there anything that's not subscription? Like I guess is where I'm going at. Like, I'm not sure. Like everything is a subscription.
I've heard
Paramount. I just started thinking of all the different, like Paramount now, like was movies growing up, right? It's just movies. You saw the Paramount thing was movies. Now they're putting together TV shows so you can get their app, which, it's insane.
Well, I think that the recurring revenue as a business model makes a ton of sense for a lot of people because the purchasing, the entry level is so much lower. Rather than trying to, because software as a service like revolutionized this or kind of brought it back into the fold, and where you remember when you had to buy Microsoft Windows packages for like hundreds of dollars.
That's right.
With Adobe was a big case study here, where Adobe packages were like thousands of dollars, and then it said, well, now you're a pro, you can just buy them for $100 a month or $200 a month. And you just have this, and their growth just exploded because once you have a really good subscriber onboarding process and a personalized process afterwards, you become a daily active user, and that's kind of what a lot of direct-to-consumer brands should be thinking about because I think one of my biggest takeaways from 2022 for basically from subscriptions has been that direct-to-consumer brands need to think more like software as a service companies than ever before.
But how can what's like, if you're just selling a one-off thing, how are they doing this? Like,
so I'm thinking specifically for subscription. Well, if you have a replenishable good, or if you have, you can think of becoming the brand is like access to a brand. Like, for example, think of it this way: Amazon Prime. Amazon doesn't really sell any products. That they brand a lot of products, but Amazon Prime is a digital membership you buy, digital subscription you buy to simply have access to some perks from Amazon. And we don't really think about it, but it's kind of like the subscription that probably in most abundant in most households. And this is something we've actually been rolling out to some Shopify brands recently, digital memberships, where it's like, hey, you pay $10 every month, you get $10 cash back every single month. So that value stays with you. And no matter what, but then you get access to certain perks. You get access to an exclusive shop, you get access to free downloads and that kind of stuff. And if you have a $50 box that somebody's thinking about, oh, you know what, maybe I'll pause this month, or maybe I'll delay, or maybe I'm debating canceling. This is a great step down plan of like, hey, if you've been a subscriber for 2, 3,
I love that,
10 months, this money is never going away. It's never going to expire. And then every time, whenever you want to come back to us, you'll have all this credit that you can just use up on your next purchase. So that's been one real cool way to do that. And also another thing is, if customers, so I'm a big fan of this membership setup. If customers, for example, you have customer complaints, instead of giving them a refund, you can just get, hey, we'll give you free access with this customer tag. We'll give this free access to you, the subscriber perk shop, or you'll get, member treatment for the next month as a customer kind of customer service fix. So there's a ton of ways to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's super smart. I guess I'm just trying to think. So they pay $10 a month and they have access to like deals or discounts to a shop, or just exclusive like pricing. Is that mostly how you guys are seeing it?
So the way we've seen it set up is you have either access to exclusive collections that are gated with an account login, right?
Okay.
And then based on their customer tag, so the best way to do it is to build value around, I think, exclusive items that they can't buy otherwise. And this is I think this is good for any active subscriber treatment. This is just a good way to treat your subscribers, is give them something that general people don't have. And the easiest thing, and we do this all the time, is give them access to your past collection of the past boxes, right? Gate that off, and people will go back and rebuy them, or individual one-time items that you only want to feature to your subscribers that are in limited supply. Another thing is, yes, you put them on an early bird email list. That's an easy one. And also monthly giveaways. I've seen people do that as well. It's like, if you're part of this membership, we'll do one box every month and we'll announce it. But all of this is kind of tied into your customer portal and customer account. So once you log in, like, oh, as a subscriber, now I have this section of my account unlocked. And I can get access to an exclusive shop with exclusive items, but also discounts potentially too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's basically, it's a private collection that you can do whatever you want. You can change pricing, add products, remove products. So yeah, it's a really good way to, again, extend kind of that customer lifetime value. And yeah, and profitability, more importantly, because once you set it up once, like, it's not like you're discounting your boxes actively. They're paying you $10 and they still get that cash back. So it's not like they're basically buying credit from your store.
Yeah, that's where I was kind of thinking, like, how do you not lose on that, if that makes sense?
Well, so if, for example, if I am buying, if we set up a membership for Louis and Leah, and I'm buying a $10 a month membership, at the end of the year, I've paid you $120, and I can just apply that $120 to any product that I want, but I've already paid you $120. Mm-hmm. So technically, it's basically, you're not really discounting anything. You're converting it into points and store credit. Yeah.
So is this where the magic of what you guys do comes in? Kind of like your genius, the zone is genius. You're the one who's going to put these kind of things in place for the customers. So it's like someone's listening is like, this sounds awesome, Andriy. Like, but I don't know how to do this. Like, this sounds great. What kind of apps? What kind of tech do I need? Is this custom built? What is this?
Exactly. Yeah. So we're part of our agency services. Obviously, I like to call it, we're all inclusive, and I have to make a note that it's outside of ads. We implement. So we design, we implement apps, we build all of this, and that comes as part of that. Also, however, I do want to emphasize, a lot of these tools are very much you could do with no code. There's a little bit of knowledge that's required around how Shopify flows work. But generally speaking, it's loyalty point apps, like for this solution that I just outlined, Smile, and using Smile and using a little bit of apps like Locksmith, for example. You can combine both and say, hey, if a customer purchases this SKU, they get these many points, and therefore they get this kind of tag. This is Shopify flows. They are locked off to a Shopify Pro plan, but they're an extremely powerful tool. I highly recommend looking into it. I know that it's a bit of a price bump between the base and the Pro, but it's one of those tools. But yes, we very much provide like a full service agency service with our staff. Yeah.
Outside of ads, again.
Outside of ads. Yeah, very smart people are doing there's a ton of ad agencies. We wouldn't want to go try to compete there.
Yeah, I know for sure. And there are some subscriptions. So if you're listening to this, you're like, well, he's not the first subscription only like agency to do, well, not for ads, no, but for what you're doing here specifically, yes.
Yes.
So let's just kind of roll into so what does that experience look like? Someone contacts you, and do you kind of like operate like a SaaS company where it's like you have a monthly fee and you can cancel anytime, and whatever you pay in that fee, they can use you? Is that fair?
Yes. Well, so the idea behind, yes, we essentially have a monthly fee. We're working actually on setting up a couple of different plans. So like a $700 a month plan, $5,000 a month plan, whatever, super heavy duty build plans. But long story short is I think generally why I wanted to go with basically a flat fee, cancel anytime, because fundamentally it's like everybody knows that billable hours are kind of a fugazi anyhow, and nobody really, like, we were running a tiny team of a couple of people, and I was just blowing my mind that we were stuck with bureaucracy all the time. It's like I was updating quotes and I was updating billable hours every week, and I was sending this. At the end of the day, we just kind of averaged out, well, how much are we billing you on average every month? Let's just roll with that. And sometimes we work a little less, sometimes we work a little more, but if you don't like us, you can cancel. Like, it's no contract. So, and I think that turns us into a subscription business, essentially. And we're watching our MRR, we're looking at our churn numbers, we're looking at our customer lifetime value. And how long people are staying on with us. Right now, I'm happy to say that customers are staying with us for 9 months plus on average. So when where clients are signing up, and it feels like you have a whole team. Yes, you pay a premium, but it feels like you have a whole team of designers, developers, and email marketers. Once you basically, and again, you don't have to think about this payroll. This is now, I have to be responsible for these people. I have to be responsible for these people, but our job is to, have a rotating crew of clients. Yeah. So yeah, that's it's essentially that. And then we just make a plan for the first month, and you go to our Shopify store, you add the product to cart, you get an email notification. Hey, welcome to your portal. Here's how to manage your subscription, and away we go.
Yeah. That's it. So you mentioned a bunch of things there. So your agency does like the stuff we just talked about, like setting your subscription business with the membership stuff. You can work that, but that's more than that. You guys do email marketing, you said. So maybe just run through, like, let's say an example, someone reaches out, and what's that process look like? What can you guys let's say they wanted like the complete, like everything that you guys do from A to Z. What are those products or services that you guys offer? Just because if a lot of people that do listen, they might be at the point where it's like, okay, I've put this together. I know my website needs work. I know, like, it's there, but it might need some work, or it might not be there. It needs to be done completely. So, just a rundown of all the services you do, because I know there's a ton of stuff that you guys do work on. So,
well, I think the best way to think about it is we're a design, development, and email marketing agency. But the end and underlying goal is always to work on subscription projects that improve your monthly recurring revenue and that curb your churn. And when I say improve, it's either get existing subscribers to improve their average order size, or improve conversion rates for new subscribers, or extend churn, basically stamp down churn as far as possible. So the best way to actually check all of those things and how that works is check out our website, GoodSubscription.agency, or if you just Google Good Subscription Agency, you'll find us. And that's kind of how we curb it. So around churn improvements is the big one, conversion boosting, and boosting customer lifetime value and average order value, and app migrations. Those are like big 4 project types that we work on. But as far as services, there's strategy, conversion rate optimization, website design and development.
I was going to say website design for sure. Like, there's the design part. Yeah. So what does it look like for the layman terms? It would be like, makes your site convert, folks. So they'll take their site. They're going to look at your site. They're going to look at what is wrong with it. Why there might be too much wording. There could just be the layout. It could be a lot of different things. Why your idea is great, but you're not converting because there's certain things there that are keeping people from converting. And we're all guilty of it. We always have to kind of have a fresh set of eyes on it. So that's, I think, a huge part of it. Helping your conversion rates, I think, is kind of like, you guys are really good with that. You mentioned email, and I think it's like tying the ends together, right? Like, so sometimes like, okay, I know what I got to do. I just don't know how to do it. So I know this is what my site needs to convert better. I don't know how to do that. I know my email marketing needs to be tied in with the flows and stuff. I don't know how to do that. Now you can certainly do it yourself. A lot of people have, and there's no shame in that. It might just take you longer. You might need to take a course here, a course there. You might need to, watch a ton of YouTube videos. It could probably be done. It's just a matter of like, do you want to put that time in to be the expert at everything? Or do you want to plug and play? And it's not to say that with your fees, like someone could be like, I need about a month's work, right? Mm-hmm. And that I was going to ask about your lifetime value being 9, because I guess once the work's done, people could basically, my site I think is optimized. See you later. Thanks. And bye for now, until I need it. Yeah, exactly. Right.
And that's exactly, I'll actually, so our customer lifetime value, that's based on just pause subscribers. So out of all the brands, we only had one customer churn, which is and everybody else is kind of pausing and they're jumping on and off every couple of months.
Oh, that's cool. So you can just pause your stuff and then say,
yeah. So it's
I
like,
need some work here again. Yeah.
Too much stuff in the freezer. Like we've got too much. We just need to delay it for a month or two, and that's generally how it's done. I do think, like, in a very basic, simplified way, where we're an IT team, but we're also come with a very good strategy aspect to it around subscriptions, because we purely work with subscription background. I have a business background and a marketing background, and it's just this combo of, okay, let's find what your subscription program needs. Let's design the website so it's easier to purchase from, but most importantly, even easier to repurchase from. Once you've done the first purchase, how do we make sure that your second order, your third order, your fourth order are just as smooth and actually are valuable? And so that comes, a big part of that is churn optimization and conversion rate optimization. So, do you need a build-a-box implemented? Do you have a lot of SKUs, and are customers going to benefit from building their own box that comes every single month, and updating that upcoming order every single month? Do you need a simple subscribe and save setup, but also you need an exclusive shop that comes with that subscribe and save program? Things of that nature. So I think the big piece, what we try to do, I think our mission is fundamentally, I want subscription business owners to be more profitable, because especially right now, that's actually the biggest concern, I think, for everybody, is especially with rising ad costs and rising customer acquisition costs. It's like, okay, well, I'm not profitable until like order 3 or 4. Like, what's going on here? And I'm really actually skeptical of the idea of customer lifetime value, because I have a feeling that marketing ad agencies came up with that. What really matters is customer lifetime profits, and customer lifetime value, if calculated properly, and not all good agencies ad agencies do this, is your revenue less costs divided by churn. That's your customer lifetime value. It's like, let's subtract all the costs. We're only looking at profits and how much free cash flow are you generating. And that's how, if you're looking to ever sell your subscription business, that's how investors are going to look at it. They're going to look at CAC, to how much, for every dollar you spend, how much free cash flow do you generate? Okay, $5 for every dollar. That's awesome. Take my money. I can project this out and say, this is what it's worth. This is how much cash it's going to generate. Perfect. There's $5 million for you. But
that. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Well, if your business has all the metrics, right, and it's Shopify makes it very easy to be just like, hey, well, here's our ad spend, here's our churn rate, here's how much people pay every month, and if you just do nothing, your business will run itself for the next 3 years, and you'll get $3 million. I'll give you $2 million for it right now. So, it's obviously, there's due diligence and processes to this, but when it comes to prepping businesses for sale, that's kind of one big thing that you want to look at. Yeah. Is it a game?
Oh, my son came in. He didn't realize I was recording. So thanks for that, Felix. No, yeah, and that makes sense. So I guess I would kind of roll into like Black Friday. Christmas is around the corner. Huge time for any retail kind of sort of business. D2C, like any business is going to be huge this time of year. So are you guys doing anything when it comes to like helping your customers, when it comes to recommendations for some of your clients? Or are you guys doing are you guys even still searching for clients? Are you guys full for now? Because I know before you'd like send out like, okay, we got spot for 2 more people to come on. We're full until January. What does it look like right now for you guys? And what are you guys doing for Q4 and the rest of Q4?
Yeah, we've hired people. So we've opened up some capacity for a couple more clients. And when I say a couple, it's basically 2 or 3, but we're a lot more growth oriented, I would say. So definitely you can check us out on our website, GoodSubscription.agency, GoodSubscription.agency. And actually for you, Eric, and for your listeners, if they go to GoodSubscription.agency/Eric, they'll get a 10% off their first month as a podcast listener. So
wicked.
And that's a coupon that never expires. Go in, put your email into our email flow. We'll tell you more about ourselves, and you can make a call on what makes sense. But I also share a lot of really actionable kind of takeaway tips on what to do especially around Q4 time. Yeah. like I can share if you want. I can share a couple of like good practical pieces because gift subscriptions are a big thing now.
Yep.
So yes, around gifting, there's apps out there. If you're thinking about this year, finally, for pretty much for the first time on Shopify, you can properly send somebody a giftable subscription, which they will get access to. They will sign up for, and they'll be able to manage on their own.
That's wicked. Yeah.
Yes. So they'll get upcoming order notifications. They'll be able to change their address with all pricing hidden. So two apps that do this: Atomic app. They're a new Shopify subscription app. But they're really, really good. I've been not affiliated at all, but just really like their team. Worked with them on a couple of projects. And Gavalo is really good, well integrated into Recharge. So that might be a better way to look at. So that's probably more applicable for more people. But I think gifting functionality around this time of the year is key. And
100%. And your CRO, your website, the look of it should show that. Like show if you're running ads or not. But let's say you are running ads and they're based around Q4 or the holidays, even Christmas themed things. Like your website should reflect that. So like there's like a synchronization, like a flow when they do click and they go to your site, they should see that. Correct?
Yes. Yeah. Building, if you wanted to, I think the most effective channel for marketing is going to be your email. Like pretty much through the whole year, you're building your email list, and then you definitely want to promote a good gift guide or a landing page or Black Friday, Cyber Monday promo, where you're driving people to that landing page. And part of that landing page certainly should be your gift subscriptions. I'm a big fan of gift subscriptions for a couple of reasons. Fundamentally, like as a gift, it's a really good way to gift somebody. And whenever you gift it to somebody once, you realize, oh, this is, as upon goes, it's a gift that keeps on giving. And a lot of brands are actually doing, gift subscriptions start shipping in January. So it's like you're starting off the new year, so you can give somebody an experience over the next, the first 3 months of January for this food meal plan or this gift subscription or whatever it is, coffee subscription. Yep. So a lot of brands are doing that, and I'm a big fan of that. And the really good part there as well is recapturing those emails and making sure that, again, coming back to the reason why you would try to recapture these emails is, hey, come back to our website, register your gift subscription with your email, and then get access to exclusive perks. So basically set up an account for yourself and get access to these perks that you wouldn't otherwise get: free digital downloads, get exclusive access to products and that kind of stuff. And at the end of the expired, when your gift's expired, you can retarget them and say, hey, if you like this subscription, you can come and sign up for one yourself.
Yeah. And I would throw in there offers. Like, I don't know how big you are on offers. I think offers is a big one, especially like around Black Friday. But I would suggest like have it aggressive, but like, and keep it at that. So you don't kind of think it's strict. Like if it's Black Friday sale, make it a Black Friday sale and make it aggressive, because people, 10% might not move the needle on your product on that day. It might have to be like a gift if you don't want to shave off. Like we never shave off percentages anymore. We just do gifting stuff with it. So that seemed to be works well in subscriptions. Did you guys seeing the same thing?
Totally. I'm a big fan of free gift with purchase over discounts. I think so discounts, we see cancellation, basically churn. Basically, discount on the first purchase basically just means you'll pay it in churn later. Because people, once their product renews at full price, they were much more likely to cancel. Right. And if you don't have a good upcoming order flow and upcoming order email notification, you might, that charge will go through. You'll get a cancellation email, then you have to process a refund. So at the end of the day, they'll cancel with a terrible brand experience. Yeah. So I think free gift with purchase is great because they are fixed and they understand what the subscription price is up front, and so they're not expecting that gift every time. Yes, but it also doesn't devalue your product and your subscription up the gate.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Hey everyone, wanted to do an ad read for you guys here before the show starts. So just give me a few seconds here. This episode is sponsored by SubSummit. If you're still early in the subscription journey, even if all you have is a great idea, SubSummit is where you need to go. It's the world's largest conference for entrepreneurs like you. They're currently accepting applications for a startup scholarship program, and winners will receive a free ticket to the conference next year, hotel accommodations, and up to $500 USD in travel reimbursement. We're talking about a price package here valued at almost $4,000. And all you have to do is apply for free at subsummit.com/scholarship. You don't need to send boxes. You don't need to do anything else. All you have to do is just go to subsummit.com/scholarship and apply for free today. It's open until December 13th, guys. So hurry up, get that in there. And if you're too late already, make sure to check back in with us and we'll make sure to see what we can do for you. So that's good stuff. So gifting is huge. The apps you mentioned, Atomic, and then the other one was Gavalo.
Gavalo, yes. Yeah. They've been integrating, so they're gifting apps specifically, and they've been integrating into, I know that they're integrated with a newer version of Bold and Recharge as well. Yeah. But Black Friday, Cyber Monday specific stuff is I mean, it's promo time. Yeah,
you made a good point, like their email list, right? I think the email, like they're thinking, oh, let's get some more ads out there. But I think that kind of should have been the job all year long. And now all those warm leads that you've got emails from, they're familiar with you. It's gonna be a lot easier to convert them, right? And let them know. I think a good hint I once heard is like, let them know that you have a sale coming up. Like that might have been for last week or the last few weeks or whatever. Mm-hmm. But it's not too late for Christmas, right? So as you're listening to this, like, let them know that you have a Black Friday sale coming up and that, it's going to be one day and this is the day. So you come back on this day. And then of course, you're going to remind them with emails with that upcoming week and with that date. But the same thing with Christmas, right? If you got like some Christmas countdown, 21 days to Christmas or whatever it is, like do the same thing and keep reminding them because they're already familiar with it. It's like they know who you are. They've clicked on your ad or they've seen your stuff. They're most likely to be looking for something from someone they know already. I know I do. Yeah. That's a shopping thing, right? Like,
yep.
Yeah. Like look at your own experience. Like on Black Friday, do you go cold or you probably have a pretty good idea of what you want and something that you've been waiting for Black Friday to purchase, right? Like, so yeah.
Totally. And I've seen some brands, one thing I do really, early bird SMS lists and email lists I'm a big fan of. So it's like you sign up, you know exactly what you're signing up for. I want access and I would just want to know what the discount codes are and then I'll go in and shop. So do collect that prior to. And it's a gamble to try to push ads because during this time, because ads costs will increase even higher, your effectiveness will go down because you're trying to compete with really massive brands now trying to buy social
exactly
ads.
It. Yeah.
So if I'm trying to push my small direct-to-consumer brand, and I'm trying to compete with Best Buy for Black Friday space, because fundamentally we might be trying to overlap on the same audience. It becomes like it's a costly gamble. So definitely lean heavily on your own channels for marketing, like email and social that you've been building. Yeah,
100%.
Yeah,
I agree. Is there anything else you want to talk about when it comes to what you guys do and anything else? Otherwise, I think we've covered it all.
Yeah. Well, you know what? For Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and this is actually something that I'm trying to talk to more brands about, is giving your subscribers, basically thinking about your subscribers first and foremost. So if you're a subscription-based business, we're so focused on acquisition that we forget that our most profitable customers are the customers that bought 6 months ago, and they're still buying from us again. So one of my favorite things is like your upcoming order email is actually your most profitable sales email ever sent, right?
That's awesome.
Because at the end of the day, all you're trying to really do is remind yourself that, hey, these people have been buying from us they spent hundreds of dollars, and all I really have to do is make sure they just don't cancel before their 6th order or their 7th order. I've seen this. Athletic Greens just did this to me, and they sent me, hey, and I've been with them for a couple of months. By the way, didn't forget about you this Christmas. Here's a free gift on your next purchase. And it's like, guess what? This costs them $10 to send me a free gift of something. I still have to spend $110 to get that thing.
Right.
Like, but they frame it as, hey, we thought of you. Here's a free gift. You don't have to do anything.
Love it.
And it's like, oh, now am I thinking about delaying this? And they did make it in a tight time frame where that you have to reorder within like the Christmas holiday sale.
Yeah.
But putting your subscriber first in that aspect of, hey, on your next order, here's a free gift, or go into your portal, here's 3 products that you can pick out of. Go into your portal, add it on as a free add-on, and away you go. Because at the end of the day, those customers are going to be spending $50, $100, $150 on your renewal, the same way that those people who've never heard from you are going to try to spend the same $150. The problem is, those you've spent tens, $10, $20, $50 in marketing to try to get that first sale converted, and we forget that it takes, you can retain 5 times more customers with the same amount of money that it takes to win a new one. And I think this is why I kind of really dove deep into subscriptions in general, is because they really prioritize existing relationships over trying to find new customers at any cost. And that's actually one of the most common things, some common mistakes that I saw this year from a lot of brands, is being so acquisition focused and forgetting that their most profitable, highest paying repeat customers are like kind of forgotten about after they've purchased once, right? I mean, yes, you're sending them boxes, but are you really personalizing their experience? And to me, it just like, if you're good to your repeat customers, they'll be good back to you. So
it's a perfect point, because last week on the show we had Jen Klein from Subta, and she said this. As point number 4, I was putting up my notes here. Number 4, retention is growth, and I think that's key. Like it is like you need to focus on. It's like Eric, yeah. Like retention, yeah, okay, sure. I'll work on my churn, but it's like I want some new customers. Well, I think right now it's gonna be challenging if you're a small business, to be quite honest, to get that at this time of year. So you can, by focusing on the things we talked about, specifically on your email list and SMS list, and the people that are already your warm leads, your own customers, that might be your most profitable email. So go out and do those things, and at the same time you might acquire some new customers at the same time, but don't go out and try to blow your budget. I think on ads is kind of like the main thing I've learned in the past. I think a lot of small businesses have learned in the past. It's just not worth it for me to try to compete with BumpBox or with any kind of massive maternity or pregnancy thing that's way bigger than me, and that's going to outbid me all day long, and I'm just going to be throwing whatever small marketing budget I have away. So there's better ways to do it this time of year.
No. Well, again, it's like, if you think about the amount of money you spend on ads and to try to win a new customer, how much more actually would you be able to extend your customer lifetime value and get more revenue out of your existing customers if you literally just took that money and projected it into, like, let's build an exclusive shop, let's launch a product that's just for subscribers and that they get 50% off on, or let's do this personalized upsell and add to carts on upcoming orders. And make repurchasing a lot easier. Or what if we take that time and effort and actually do a subscriber-only blog or subscriber-only podcast or some kind of content that can, or for in your case, coloring pages for kids and that sort of stuff. It's like, what if you turn that into additional content for subscribers? And at the end of the day, I remember I was at SubSummit this year. One of the most it was a research study that was presented by guys who launched HBO Plus. And before they did a big market survey. It was like, okay, well, what makes a subscription sticky? Like, what is it that people are calling a subscription that I can't live without? To clarify, so these guys were looking at entertainment as subscription. So things like the Netflix of the world, YouTube Premium, Xbox Game Pass, and that kind of stuff. But fundamentally, like, YouTube Premium was number 1 subscription that people can't live without. How people
Seriously?
Yes. And the reason why they said that is, and this is actually what I loved about the takeaway, because it's very applicable to any small brand, is that because they offer value that I can't find anywhere else. And if you can find and niche in your unique brand value, and fundamentally every single brand has a story behind the owner, how they founded it and why they founded it and what they're trying to do with it. And if you try to communicate that, that's not something anybody else can replicate. This is really so strong for mission-driven brands, and in my mind, that's a really good reason for to build it into an onboarding flow. So once you after you've somebody subscribed, it's like a post-purchase flow, but with no upsell. It's like, hey, you're now a subscriber. Here's 4 or 5 emails about, first, where to manage your subscription. Second, how to get a hold of our FAQ and support. Here's how to handle your add-ons and add things. But also, here's a letter from the founder. Here's what this means. You're not just buying a random box. This actually, I saw this on Instagram recently. It's like when you buy from a small business, an actual person does a happy dance somewhere. Yeah. So it's like, it's very personal and very real. So tie that into your copy, and you can build a unique proposition in that sense. And that's what actually makes these big platforms so sticky, and people don't even think about them as like, the last thing I'm going to do is cancel my Netflix subscription. Is because you just can't find that value anywhere else. And at the end of the day, it's like you're competing for people's budgets, and you have to think of it that way. It's like, what is it that's very unique to us that we are trying to do with our brand? And the brand story, I think, is an easy one in that sense. So, and that's kind of probably one of the big takeaways that the biggest takeaway that I got from this year is that companies need to start to think like no longer can you do like cheap, highly effective ads and try to retain or rely on, like, if we just get one customer signed up, maybe 2-3 orders, we can make a little bit of money. You have to really think about, okay, well, how do we boost that customer lifetime value? How do we make the repurchasing experience so much better? How do we add more products to our product line and become this hub for, in this case, baby products for us? So it's not necessarily just the box, but also all of the things that come with the box. And also, I'm supporting this awesome small local business. How does that all tie in? So, yeah. I do have a couple of tips if you want.
Sure, let's hear them.
Yeah, so something very, very practical, and this is actually the most valuable split test we ran through in 2022. So this helped one of our clients, our Shopify Plus client, Seat to Table, boost basically their subscription opt-ins and subscriber recurring revenue growth by over 200%. And basically, it's a very simple test, because all it really needed is, instead of opting people into one-time purchases, so for a lot of brands that have one-time and subscribe and save, defaulted to subscribe and save. The wonder of that test is that I thought, hey, if you opt people into subscribe and save, they might be turned off because they're paying more if they one-time buy. However, what we found is, and this was over around 5,000 user sessions, so not insignificant data. So the checkout, actually, the total checkout revenue, so people spent around 10% more in total if you opted them into subscribe and save versus one-time buying, even though subscriptions were saving, so that there was a small discount associated with the subscription. And the conversion rate actually stayed completely flat between both. So it doesn't matter if you opt them into one-time or subscribe and save, you process just as many transactions. It was 150 per test. But however, your subscriber rate was 50% higher if you simply pre-selected subscribe and save. So if you're running, and I see this from brands all the time, and I'm basically at this point, it's like, if I have their owner email somewhere, I'll just screenshot. It's like, just do this. Here's an email. Just do this. Thank me later. Because you're signaling a couple of things. You're signaling that this is the best. Actually, you're fully bought in that this is actually the best way to buy. It's cheaper and it's no risk. Why would you not do that? And people respond to that. Yeah. So so that's specifically for that. And the thing is, we all know that, and basically what we found through this year is, if somebody subscribes to a product versus somebody buys one time repeatedly, their their customer lifetime value is generally 200 to 300% higher than somebody who just buys one time. Right. So a subscriber is worth to you 2 to 3 times more money than a one-time purchaser. Yeah. So again, coming back to like these skyrocketing ad costs, I think a lot of businesses will start thinking about like, how do we get the second? Because it's like, okay, ads, forget about ads. Ads are not where it's throwing money out the window. I need to work with my email. I need to work with social. I need to make, my current customers. How do I do that? So maybe I need to bring on new products to existing customers. Maybe I need to ask for referrals and create a good referral program. Maybe I need to create a better retention program so they stick around for more orders. I can't recommend though, as far as opt-ins and subscribe and save goes, pre-select subscribe and save. Another thing that we found, another tactical tip, and again, we're borrowing this from software as a service space all the time. Whenever you sign up for a piece of software, what is the pricing that you see first? It's the prepay and save pricing. It's price
for subscribe, like a digital service.
Yeah, like for example, for Slack or Trello or
I was going to say the
Zoom
first thing I usually see is like a freemium. Like you have a free sometimes, right? Like a lot of them will try it free for 7 days or. Yeah. Actually,
yes, there is an aspect to that. I actually haven't really given that freemium model too much thought and how that would work. I feel like that would be, from what I've seen, I feel like it's risky. I just don't like recommending people like, just send them stuff for free. See what happens.
It's very risky with subscriptions because you can tie it into a 6 or 12-month subscription, which we've done in the past, but you'll still have a bad churn rate because people just get that free and they want to cancel right away, even though they're not supposed to. That's the deal. We're giving you a box for free. It happens. You typically attract a very poor client,
poor quality clientele. Yeah, I agree. All I've seen is discounts on a first box, just just destroy your churn rates.
Yeah,
that's all I've seen. I haven't really I think gift on first purchase makes sense.
Yeah.
I would also emphasize that if you're offering something to new subscribers, offer that to your current subscribers to some degree, because this is what we hate cell phone companies for and cable companies for.
I used to work for one for 15 years. Yeah, they tell me, why do they all get the deals? I've been with you for 10 years. Sorry, you don't qualify. It's like,
yes. And then you kind of have to ask is like, why? So it is, so that's what I would say. So free gift with purchase is a big one. Free gift with purchase as a thank you. It's like, hey, during Black Friday, Cyber Monday, new customers are getting this. By the way, hop into your portal, add this for free just as a thank you. And it doesn't have to be big, just to show them that you're thinking about them, and you do this once or twice a year. You'll see much better retention rates. And again, these people are more profitable and more paying than anybody else in your customer segments.
I wonder, just to pause here, I wonder if there's an issue, not an issue, if there's a way to do, not a way, I know there's a way, but if it would work to do your existing class, you email all your existing customers and say, hey, here's a free gift for you if you, spend, you maybe attach a little number to it, right? So whatever that current gift is, right now it's a bunny and an apron for we got something for mom, something for baby. We'll give that to you as well if you maybe spend an extra. Would that work? Or is that too much? Well, screw you. I'm already spending, $50 a month with you or whatever. I wonder how that would go over.
You could tie it in. I think that actually brings up a bigger question, which is the current subscription model just isn't profitable enough for us to bake in an occasional retention gift every now and again. So, and this is something we've had a conversation with many businesses this year, is raising prices. And I think I've heard I think it was one of your podcasts, you were talking about price raising.
We raised it again. Yeah, we had to.
Yeah.
It's insane. Yeah.
It's the cost of service, the cost of shipment, the cost everything is everything is going up, and I do see brands just white knuckling into just taking lower cut salary from a business because I'm too afraid that if I raise prices I'm going to have churn. Here's a surprise: you will have churn. The good thing is that actually the customers that are more profitable will stick around. Kurt Elster on the Unofficial Shopify podcast had a great episode about e-commerce trends recently, and they were talking about. Sorry to plug another podcast on this podcast.
No, it's all good. Go for it. Yeah. What's it called? Unofficial Shopify podcast.
Unofficial Shopify podcast. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, that's no problem for sure.
And basically they did a survey of, it's a private community of 7 to 8 figure Shopify brands. And they did a survey of their members. There's around 600 to 700 store owners that participated. And what they found is out of people who raised their prices, actually 80% described that they had a positive impact on their business, period.
Wow.
So this either be profitability, it might be a lower top line revenue. So maybe they dropped in top line revenue, but they improved in profitability.
Okay.
So it's something definitely to consider. And I'd be man, if you have, tie it, I would say tie it to some kind of an added offer. It's like, yes, prices are like, you can explain with the fact that, hey, prices are rising on everything. However, here's what we've improved, and this is why you're getting a better value for your box.
Yeah.
And I've seen businesses just say, hey, listen, inflation, this is it, and it is what it is. People either think that it's valuable enough or not.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's profitability. At the end of the day, that's the money you take home to your family. So for small businesses, I see too many small business owners just work for nothing and just like tear their hair out and be like, how do I make this business work? How do I make this business work? And it's like, well, you can raise your prices. Yes, it will be ugly, but let me tell you, like, is it uglier than having to deliver Uber Eats at night because your business isn't paying you enough, even though you're running $1 million store? I don't know. I don't know. You tell me.
It's insane. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know. So that, like, in the end, what is it going to cost? How can you price your box or your business in a way that you're actually going to be able to make this thing work? Not what you think you should be able to price it, right? Like, you might think I need to have my pricing at like $39.99 a month. That's where I need to be competitive because
somebody else is doing it.
Sure. Meanwhile, it's got to be around $59.99. Like, that's a huge difference to make it workable. So in our minds, you got to find clever ways to add that value, kind of go back to that model of, what else can you do to add value? That's going to be, maybe it's a podcast instead of, maybe it's something, just anything to try to tie that in. Right.
Yes. Yeah. I think it's a big thing. And that's one common thread from this year's, yes, price changes and price raising. And it's like, do I just do it for new subscribers? Do I raise it on existing subscribers as well? I've seen we're yet to do a price on existing subscribers. Actually, that's coming up in the next couple of weeks. Next week, they're raising prices. One of our brands, but they've announced it, and it's not like churn rate gone through the roof. So it's an interesting take. However, here's another thing: we did technically raise a price on one box this year. They did go from monthly to quarterly. And so this was kind of a Potter loot box. That was a surprise box, essentially. And previously they were shipping, it was a $40 box shipped on a monthly schedule. And then they moved to $70 box on a quarterly schedule. So fundamentally what happened is their churn actually got squashed in half by 47% reduction. And their obviously average order value went basically rose by 67%. So finding this better frequency, and maybe the box is a better frequency.
I've got a boy there who wants to go play hockey.
Oh boy,
to go.
Yeah. Oh yes, this is a perfect night. Yes. Well, but yeah. So let's wrap it up. But my point is,
no, he can wait. That's fine. There's no rush. It's just usually at 3:00, I drop him off at the rink, and so he's just like, he's looking through the window. He's like, "Hurry up, Papa!" Like,
yeah. Yes, no, we're almost done. But I'd say, yeah. So I think the big thing that we talked about, raising prices, and I think listen to some peace of mind on that podcast. Was that a recent episode on that show? On that one? Yes, I think e-commerce. E-commerce Fuel is actually so that's a community that they did the research on. So you can probably find it on their blog. But Kurt Elster had gentlemen from, and we can probably link it in the show notes too. And they talked about specifically about like e-commerce trends from everybody. I found it very, very insightful.
I'd love to have that if you can find that, and that I'll put in the show notes for sure for the listeners, because you listen to one show, you listen to 10. Like I jump around for sure. Like, and if it's something that can help you guys, 100%, I don't care.
Yeah, sure. I'll full turn. I think I listen to I would say religiously, but regularly seven or eight subscription specific podcasts.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so it's a great form of content. So some of the best knowledge. So yes, and I guess as the final takeaway, I'd say opt people into prepay and save. So choose it as, again, so we talked about putting them into subscribe and save. If you have a prepay and save, if you're just a subscriber, opt people into it and let people opt out easily. So, because again, there's no call, like let people go from prepay and save to just one click to go month to month or season to season. It will boost your average order value because, again, you're showing people, you're signaling this is the better way to do it. It's risk-free, and basically it's the cheapest savings. And you could even display, hey, prepay per box price versus month to month per box price. And again, software companies do this all the time. If you're going for a paid plan, they'll show you, hey, if you basically it's $12.99 a month priced annually. They'll ask you to pay for the whole year, but you can pick, hey, I just want to pay $19.99 a month and I'm good with that. But that's one thing that you see this often, and I promise you it works.
All right. Well, to conclude, 3 things. Number 1, France did win 4-1, so we're off to amazing start.
That's a barn burner then.
Yeah. And we were down 1-0, so boom. Number 2, the best way to get a hold of you is just to go to your website, Instagram, LinkedIn. I know you're active on LinkedIn a ton too. What is the best way?
Yes. Follow me on LinkedIn. I put out a lot of tidbits. I'm not active anywhere else on Twitter, but you can check us out also on GoodSubscription.agency. And if you go GoodSubscription.agency/Eric, ERIC, you'll be able to claim a 10% off your first month. Coupon never expires.
Yeah, wherever he's going to point. I'm trying to see where the editor is going to put it. Somewhere on there. If you're watching, of course, if you're listening, just go to the show notes, and everything is going to be there as well. And the third thing, of course, would be if there's any examples. I don't know if off the top of your head. If not, we can link them in the show notes as well of sites you've worked on yourself, maybe with your agency that you think are doing it well. Maybe people can click on that just to kind of see, like, okay, I'm off here. Like, this website's doing really well for their agency. They've worked on it, and mine is not even close to that. Or maybe it is. Maybe it's good news. It's like, okay, I'm closer than I thought. I just need a bit of touch-ups here. Is there any examples of websites you would recommend we kind of look at?
Yes, totally. Check out magicdelivered.co. It's one of our brands that we've helped with a rebrand and relaunch this year. Brand new theme, brand new. We didn't switch their app, but they're the ones with a membership plan. Dwelldifferently.com. Sea to Table with a number 2, SEA2 table. They're a big seafood box. We've got a new brand coming up right away, rizzyhome.com. They're currently Go number 2. It's toilet paper subscription. I love this brand. It's a great Shopify Plus brand we're working with. We're rebuilding their theme and doing a relaunch, new app, new everything. So but yes, check those things out and see how they stack up.
And cool. And maybe on a follow-up email just between us, I'll make sure I have all the emails correct or the websites correctly. And we'll make sure we'll link those in there as well. So,
totally.
Well, hey, man, and your LinkedIn as well. So thanks for doing this. I really appreciate your time as always. And if there's anything else, let me know. But otherwise, make sure, again, folks, to get 10% off or even to get, like, I think, do you still do consults just to kind of see if people are a fit for you guys?
We're so, well, I mean, if we do free intro calls for 45 minutes, just as a, let's make sure that we're in the same headspace. So more than happy to. That's part of our onboarding. And hey, it costs you nothing to, and I'd be happy to connect with anybody. So if you're thinking that you might be a fit or just wondering, have some subscription questions, what you could do better, find us that. And basically, if you just go to our website, click Get Started, you'll get all the info.
Wicked. Well, thanks again for doing that. Again, it's GoodSubscription.agency. Make sure to reach out to Andriy and his team, and they'll be sure to help you out if you can, especially with everything going on with Q4. Well, Q4 on the we're right in the middle here. We're chugging along Q4 here. So folks, get your stuff in order. And worst case scenario, get started on the right foot for the New Year's. I know they got taking a few clients. So when it comes to that, I know he's not an ad agency, but I'm sure he can point you in the right. For us, we kind of put ads aside this time of year. Start fresh in January, February, when it's really cheaper to acquire customers. And right now, do the stuff we're talking about on this episode. So thanks again for doing this. Check him out on LinkedIn. He's got a lot of good stuff there. And check out the website again, GoodSubscription.agency. Andrew, thanks for doing this, and thanks for your time, man.
Hey, thanks for having me on, Eric. Always a pleasure. Keep spreading the good word.
Yeah, for sure. Go France, go Canada,
Go.
and go Ukraine, wherever you're next for maybe the next Euro Cup, I guess, in a couple of years.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hopefully, fingers crossed.
Right on. Okay. We'll talk soon. All right. We're cutting into an ad read here, something different, something new for the YouTube channel that we haven't done before. So this episode is sponsored in part by SubSummit. And guys, I'm going to be full transparency here. I'm going to be reading my script because I don't want to screw it up. Okay. I'm not a pro, but I am going to be reading it. So this episode is sponsored by SubSummit, the world's largest conference dedicated to subscriptions. Myself, as a bootstrap subscription box entrepreneur, I know how hard it can be to build and grow your business. Obviously, it takes a lot of time, energy, money, etc. Well, SubSummit makes everything easier. It's a great event where thousands of subscription business owners from across the globe come together to grow, connect, and discover how to engage with their subscribers and enrich their subscription offering. You can expect to network with hundreds of other subscription box owners, vendors, and other leaders in the industry. SubSummit gives you the tools you need to take your subscription box business to the next level. The Startup Scholarship Program could also help you get there for free if you have 1,000 subscribers or less. It includes a free ticket to the 2023 conference in Dallas, hotel accommodations at the Sheraton Dallas, and up to $500 in USD travel reimbursements. So what you have to do is you have to head over to subsummit.com/scholarship and apply today. That's subsummit.com/scholarship and apply today. It's free to do. You have nothing to lose. So head over there and do that right now. Links are also in the show notes.